Hey everybody, this is Fran Fraschella, draft expert and basketball junkie. To everybody who's watching, let's get our friends at General Manager Games the subscribers they deserve. Just press that red subscriber button and immerse yourself in sports AI through GM Games content. And on Twitter, it's GM_games. Let's get after it. Let's go.
Sports College Basketball 2021, your North Carolina Tar Heels. I was talking to Chris right before we got up. I don't even remember this roster, so you guys will have to bear with me. I'm sure that Chris is getting out the notifications and people are checking the email, seeing that we're up and live and all that good stuff. So I'll just kind of walk through this roster as people see that we're up and start joining the show. So I do remember the glut of guards and wing players that we had. Starting off with Ray Calhoun, the senior point guard. And I actually think on last year's team we were playing a shooting guard at the point. What's up, Chris, in the chat? I feel like Daryl Morris might have been our point guard last year. We might have had another shooting guard that either transferred out or graduated. But we got the 4.5-star Ray Calhoun. Hoss, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Anyway, Ray Calhoun, he's got all the traits. He's got the ball magician, the playmaker, the defender. I think our entire starting five probably have the defender rating. But Calhoun looking good. Got all the passing, the ball handling, good stuff from our senior point guard there. And, of course, the other good thing about a senior, look at the offense and defensive proficiencies. 85s in the offenses, those will be closer to 90s, 95s by the time the season actually starts because we're still on June 26th, and he's perfected all of our defensive systems. So we're good to go there. Booker Jones, a freshman point guard. He was ranked 124, so must be one of these 4-star guys that played well in camp, I assume. Hopefully we're just looking for some depth there and a 4-year player that'll hang out for us. Morris, obviously the star shooting guard, the senior. He's a bucket getter. As I mentioned, everybody on this roster has got the defender badge by the time they've been around for a couple of years. Alex Collins, nice 4-star freshman, ranked 22. So he's one of these guys that he might go every year or he could be a 4-year player. Usually you get 2 or 3 years out of a guy like that. We'll see how this goes. Quentin Mansell, definitely remember this small forward. He's been around for 2 years now. This will be his 3rd year. Ranked number 31, so hopefully he sticks around as well. Maybe we get 4 years out of him. Medley is a transfer. I brought in 2 transfers, which I rarely do, which leads me to believe that this last squad must have had a handful of guys that went pro early, and we were really hurting for players, because normally, you guys know, I don't touch transfers, but Medley is a transfer. He looks solid, but he will not be available for us this year, but of course he's got the defender attribute, right? What else? I'm not looking at walk-ons. Don't care about them. Kyle Dodd, 5-star senior player. Again, look, all the proficiencies in the world. Now, he doesn't have the defender badge, so we might just have to cut this guy. I don't know. Good inside scoring, good scoring. What kind of power forward's got a 7 in passing? Yeah, random task. I told y'all every time I was going to come back to it. I needed a break. Had the FM fever for a little bit, but I finally pried myself out of Germany. Hopped a flight back to Chapel Hill, North Carolina, so we could bring you this one. James Leslie, I'm pretty sure, is a massive recruit, ranked number 2 nationally, so this is easily a one and done. And we're really thin on the inside. You can see we do have this 3-star sophomore who was another transfer, so I'm absolutely certain that we had a highly ranked center who declared early for the NBA. So I think Dodd and Leslie will be our starting 4 and 5 this year. Who's going to back them up? I don't know, because after that, like, Williams is unavailable. David Knight is a walk-on. Riley, walk-on. Madison, walk-on. Then you start walking down the list. Corey Nee, walk-on. Medley, unavailable. And then you get to Quentin Mansell, who's our starting 3, and then you're at shooting guards. So, hopefully Dodd and Leslie stay healthy, because behind them it looks terrifying. But out at the guard and all that, it looks beautiful. So let's take a look here at the strategy. We got the balanced focus. I'm thinking about favoring outside, although I don't want to mess it up for any of these guys because the 2 power forwards that we do have are very solid. And, you know, if the shooting guards and small forwards want to cut to the basket and that sort of thing, I don't necessarily want to dissuade them from that. So, you know, what I think we'll do is just leave it at balance. But if we run into any injury trouble, we are immediately going to have to flip this over and focus on the outside. But all right, so that's the roster. Let's get going with recruiting here. Obviously, we want to focus on the inside. We only have 3 scholarship big men, and we know we're losing this one. We're most likely losing this one, so we need to completely revamp that. Then we've got Calhoun and Morris, who are both graduating. They're absolutely gone. I don't know that we lose anybody else. So hopefully we still have Jones. Hopefully we still have Collins. Hopefully we get another year out of Manziel. We'll have Medley coming back. So we need like 1 guard and then a bunch of big dudes. But you all already know I'll probably just load up. I might load up like 5 at each guard position. Ooh, we got 7 scholarships. No wonder I brought in a couple transfers. We'd have had 9 otherwise. Yeah, we'll load up a couple of guards on each of these. Let me think here. I've already got. Yeah, we could go for some of these top point guards because they're all going to be one and dones. But I mean, we do have 7 scholarships. I'm halfway thinking about like dropping down and just grabbing guys outside of that one and done territory. You know what? We can do a little bit of both. We'll grab those 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that'll be good. 8 point guards. We'll do something similar with both these both of these guard positions. All right, so only 2 of the really topped end shooting guards were interested anyway. Makes it a little bit easier to stick with this strategy. Check out the small forwards. Obviously, we're deep here. We think we'll be even deeper next year. Not too worried about it. I'm actually going to totally just avoid the surefire one-and-done guys here. We will load it up a little bit heavier, though, because I would like to bring in 1. I like the versatility that a small forward brings. You know, he can go big or small. All right, definitely going heavy on the power forward in the center. What's up, Blazer Taz? Doing good, buddy. Back at it with some Draft Day Sports College basketball. Get these Tar Heels going again. So, pretty pumped about that. Power forward, we might be starting completely over. So, yeah, if we can grab a one-and-done guy, we will definitely do that. Whoops. He has no interest. Let's remove Marcus Buckner from the list. Thank you very much. All right. Grab him. Dun, dun, dun. How many are we up to? 36? Let me throw a few more in. We'll load up there. And we definitely need to load up center. All we've got is the 1 sophomore, so we'll take the one-and-dones. We'll take the 4-year guys. We'll take any center the game is willing to give us an opportunity to sign. We'll grab some 3-star guys. We got some pipeline 3-star guys. Got that Missouri pipeline going. We'll have to see if we catch a Tigers game here during the stream. Oh, call list is full. Perfect. So let's bounce back over to our call watch list and just start getting some of these in-home visits set up. And start moving on. Get some camp information, see what's what, who's got interest, who doesn't. Then I'm excited to get this season started as well. I mean, we still got a dozen or so of these guys that are probably one-and-done type players. But we'll try to mix up our offers a good bit. Nice program, nice. Enjoy. Awesome time. Victor Dudley had an awesome time. So it's nice to get straight out of the gate with an awesome visit. What's up, Landis? You got the Texas A&M job after leaving Arkansas State and winning the conference. That's awesome. Bubba Jr. subscribed with Prime. Thank you for the subscribe there, Bubba. That's awesome. Oh, you're up to 23rd in the nation. That feels good, doesn't it? Moving up into the top 25, getting that going. Let's get our camp information before we get this next round of visits out. Get the national camps and the Vegas camps. Malone, Brown, Dan Keys, Craig Bay. Look, so shout outs to my Football Manager save. One of my midfielders is named Keys, although it's spelled different, and I just made up the pronunciation. So who knows if that's really what his name is or not. But we're rolling with it. Dan Keys, Taurus Malone, the Indy MVP, Craig Bailey, Aloysius Morris. So cool thing is these guys are probably all on my list. The lame thing is we really need to hit the inside players this year, and it looks like there is no elite inside player this year. I'm sure there's, plenty of good ones, but none of them are the top 5 in the country. Nothing out west either. So might be a bad year to need a big man. We'll find out though. Post a few more guys. We'll go ahead and throw a live scouting trip. We're at 35,000. I don't have any idea what our budget started at and what kind of reports we got. We're at 35,000 though. I will make a live visit here, but I'm not gonna run through those every single opportunity that I have. I don't want to burn through that money too awfully quick, and that's a pretty expensive way to go about it. Yeah, we don't have as many episodes up lately, obviously, because I've been doing. Oh, look at that, Doug Beasley. So right out of the gate, one of the centers that we brought in goes straight to hot. That's wonderful. Obviously, we were doing some Football Manager stuff, so probably haven't streamed college basketball in a month and a half. But we're up now. Third year there, you got 2 4-stars and 2 3-stars. Yeah, it's good to start building up that depth for sure. Get film on the 1100s and look for a gem. Now, I'm 100% sleeping on the 1100s, so random task. 100% asleep at the wheel. Let's get both of these camps through. Now we're on a recruiting session, so we'll bring these guys in. I'm just going to burn through, get all the camp data, and then, as always, trim the list, make our offers. We do have 7 scholarships, so we might have to slow down a little bit with it. This should be the dead period, so no visits here. Yeah, once you get to North Carolina, we're balling out in the top 25, winning national championships, doing all that sort of stuff. You can sleep a little bit on the 1100 guys. And it's not a multiplayer league, so single player, you guys know, you can get a little nuts in single player. Bring in some ridiculously overpowered teams, as we've done here so far at North Carolina. A couple more camps here. We're definitely elite in this save. Multiplayer, not so much. But here in this save, we're doing big stuff. All right, so we got plenty of camp informations. Chicago had some centers. That's nice. Jason White, Jake Glossier. Awesome visits. Good to see it. Matt McFall had a big camp in Houston. No big man. Oh, we already did Vegas. Why did the email still looked unread to me? All right, we've got all of our camp information now, so let's go through this position by position and clear out anybody who was garbage. Top 25 at Indy. Top 5 at Indy. Mr. Keys. Top 5 at Indy. Yes. Yes. Point guards look great. All right, Corey Harmon. Decent at Memphis. These guys who do decent at a regional camp, you're perfectly welcome to stick around on my list if we're in a multiplayer league, but not here. Same with you, Will Holst. Get off my list. All right. Kicking 2 point guards off the list. Let's see what we got here. Shooting guard. Not great at Indy. Barely held on at Memphis. So I will not hang on to a one-and-done player who is having showings like that at camp. So he can get off my list. Decent at Indy. Yeah, you can also get right off my list. And now we're out of one-and-done territory, so we can change it up a little bit, but that doesn't cut it. That doesn't cut. What is wrong with the shooting guards? What is going on? These guys are terrible. All right, there we go. Top 25 at Indy, top 5 at Vegas. Mike Ivener. Top 5 at Chicago. All right, Jermaine Adams looking good. No. Mike Keeley, absolutely not. All right, so we've only got like 2 shooting guards that we're holding on to here. Rough year to need a shooting guard for certain. Luckily, we don't have any need for a shooting guard at this point. Bubba spent 7 seasons at Houston Baptist and then went to Auburn. Love it. 2 titles with Auburn. The Tigers. We had a couple of good years at Auburn. Yeah, having good coaches is definitely beneficial. That's for certain. No, get off my list. Crumble looks good. Jonas Smith, decent at Indy. Top 25 at Houston. Not a high priority target, but we can leave him in there. Top 5 at Memphis. Top 10 in Chicago. Good to go, good to go. Didn't stand out at a regional. Nope. Brian Phillips, get out of here. LeBron. I just brought in a LeBron in the multiplayer league as well. But this one's not going to make the cut. So try again. Calvin Anderson. No. Oh. I must have already dropped him. Get back off the list. All right. On to the power forwards. MVP at Big Apple. Love to see it. Top 5. No camp information on Chris Williams. So he didn't go to a regional camp. Let's see how he did at the... Where is it? At East Coast Jam. It was Chris Williams, right? Top 5 at East Coast Jam. So he gets to stick around. He's fine. Decent at Memphis, or decent at Houston, rather. You got to go. Allen's top 5 at the Big Apple. Top 5 at the Big Apple. Everybody's top 5 at the Big Apple. What is going on? Scotty Davenport. That's one of the old school Louisville coaches. He's actually, I believe he's still the head coach at Bellarmine in Louisville. So, love Scotty Davenport. They considered him for the interim coaching job at Louisville, I believe, when Patino left. And ultimately, they let David Padgett coach him for a year or 2. Decent at Indy, decent at Big Apple. Unfortunately, Scotty Davenport is not going to play for the Tar Heels. Didn't stand out. Neither is Antonio, whatever his name was. Justin, no. Jason Prisbilla, no. And back to Joe. All right. Let's clear these centers out, and we will be rolling. Top 10 at Indy. So that's good. We didn't have any centers or power forwards in the top 5. But we did have one in the top 10, so that's good to see. A lot of top 25s here. Another top 10, Robert Cardinal. Decent at Indy, decent at Big Apple. Top 10 at Big Apple. Top 10. Tremendous work ethic. Love to see that. Didn't stand out at Indy or Houston. Hate to see that. So he's a hard worker, but he's just not that talented, so... Not much we can do with you guys if you don't have a little bit of talent to start off with. Kamal Tucker? Nope. So we tried to throw some 3-star guys on. None of them worked out. We got our list trimmed down, though, from 50 to 29. So we got 29 guys who were all pretty good at camps. So let's get back to hosting. And we probably need to start calling some of these folks. Unlock some of these pitch areas. We do, thankfully, have the maxed out recruiting information, whatever, so we don't get hung up on, which is absolutely my least favorite thing about the entire game. Number 1 on his list. Cool. Cool, let's move on. Got to drop any dude named Justin, Agalia says. Yeah, that's a good life rule, to be honest. Blazer, subscribe with Prime. Thanks for the subscription there, Blazer. Appreciate it, buddy. Host a few more folks. And anybody that goes hot, we're just calling them up, unlocking these categories. I guess I should probably grab some of the ones that are on warm as well, because they'll probably go hot by the time we get to in-homes. All right, no more hosting for this week. I'm trying to think. We should probably, out of these 7 offers, like honestly, 4 of them need to go to power forwards and centers. And then the other 3 we can just spread out evenly among, one of each at the remaining positions. And I think that should give us a fairly good balance going into next year. You are new on the hot list. Let's chat about things. All right, you like us, but there's other schools you like better. Respect. Love a guy named Robert Cardinal. I feel like there was a center not that long ago, whether in college or the pros. It was named something Cardinal. And he was good, so maybe Robert Cardinal is some type of relation. I don't know. I'm sure we could bring him in. When I'm simming games, what do I adjust during the season? Mostly just rotation. Sometimes, if I get to an injury, as I mentioned earlier, I don't know if you joined the stream yet, but like on this team, we've got 2 really good power forwards and absolutely nothing behind them. We lost some guys to the NBA early. So we have no depth whatsoever inside. So, like, throughout this season, obviously I'll have to play with the rotation if we have injuries. But then if a power forward gets injured, I'm going to go in and adjust that percentage. I'll go in and adjust and make it more to either favor the outside or go heavy outside. And then the only other thing that I'll adjust sometimes throughout a season is the percentage of times that I run the offense versus the percentage of the time that you just sort of give them the ball and let them go, right? So you can see the big-time recruit James Leslie right up here in the top 5 of the Norton. Right behind him, the senior Daryl Morris. I think he's a senior. Senior or junior? Senior. With a 4.0. Love to have that right up there. Kyle Dodd also jumping up in the top 10. Got a Louisville boy down here, Alvin Elder. Mansell's in the top 20, as is Calhoun. So we got plenty of our starters up here in the top 20 of the Norton. Looking good as far as that goes. But yeah, for in-season adjustments, it's mostly just rotation, and it's, if you've got a weakness or a strength, you adjust that a little bit. Like, say in the multiplayer league, where I had Casey Houston, who was, I think, top 25 at Indy type player, top 25 recruit in the country. Hopefully not. Oh, no, he's not a one and done because we already got past the announcements. But I had a really good center already, and then Mike Gray came back from injury, who we all know was great. So when he came back, I went from probably balance to like a favor the inside, maybe even heavy inside. But, as your personnel changes, your strategy might change in that way. Other than that, I mostly just let the coaches coach and, stick with the strategy that we got going. Whatever's working for us, right? You don't want to change it up too much if it's working. And usually it's working. Whatever I do. Obviously, in this save, we've had a lot of success. The multiplayer league, I think, is coming around. Hopefully. I've built up a little bit of depth there. I've gotten lucky with some recruits, certainly, so you got to count on that to continue. And if it doesn't, we could be in serious trouble, but so far the way I've got it going is working. So, we'll see how it goes. What's up, Breeze? Glad to have you in here, buddy. Got a Wisconsin player at the top. Does the game ever go on sale? Ooh, probably. I don't know. I tend to just get it immediately as soon as it comes out, and they don't tend to put their games on sale right when they debut. I do think Wolverine Studios has, for sure, like periods where they put the games on sale. Because now that I talk about it, I remember getting those emails. So just make sure that you're like signed up for their newsletter or follow them on Twitter or something. They always announce those sorts of things. Yes, occasionally you can get it at a discount. I think I've got a handful of their games like that. Obviously not this one because I always buy this one the day it comes out. Yeah, sometimes it's Black Friday. Sometimes they do I know they've done like a Wolverine Sports Day or something like that in the past. So you can always keep an eye out for those sorts of things for sure. Hey, thanks for the follow there, Ryan. Blazer says he'd get fired from both his multiplayer teams. You know, my job security right now at Fresno State is like 20%, but like I can't even take fault for that because I took over the team like in March, and then a month later the season was over, and I went from 100 to 60 because they didn't like how their prior coach coached that season, and I had to eat it. So now the second year I was also just brutally bad, but this year I got him back to 500 in conference. I don't know if that's a fluke or if that's something that's going to keep on happening. We're already on September 4th. I got to get my offers figured out here. All right, let's go position by position. What do we want? At point guard, we're fine. If one of these guys was really good at camp, he's an MVP at Vegas and top 10 at Indy, yes. And we're number 1 on his list. This is our boy. All right, he gets an offer. That's a no-brainer. Top 10 at Indy guy who's probably going to not be one and done. He could be, but we could also get 4 years out of him. So I'll always take a flyer on something like that. Both these guys are 4-year players. This one's actually interested in us. We're in his top 5. This is our only real option at shooting guard. So also decision was made for us. We don't even have to think about it. Small forward. These are all probably 4-year players. Blaze changes recruiting for multiplayer. You know, a handful of us had the experience in a league prior to the GM Games League. I don't remember if you were in that or not, Blaze. I know Agalia and myself were in there, and I think both of us probably picked up some things from that. So, you know, we had a little bit of experience coming into it, and maybe that got us off on the right foot. But who's to say? I'm trying to have that conversation and figure out my offer at the same time. Are any of these guys decent at Indy? Top 25 at Big Apple. Okay. Decent and top 10 at Chicago. Decent, top 25 at Houston. What about Crumble? He was top 25 at Indy. And we are in his top 10. We might be able to compete for him. But, you know, small forward, we've got the transfer coming in. We can wait for one of these other guys to develop a little bit if we need to. Just seeing. So we're probably highest up on Bullware's list. And only the Richmond Spiders in front of us. I think we should be able to compete with them. So we'll let this be our small forward offer. I'm comfortable with him. That's good enough. All right, so we definitely need 2 power forwards. We're not even in his top 10. That scares me to death. We're number 1 on Childs. He was top 25 at Indy, top 5 at Memphis. That's an easy one. So that's our kind of one and done type candidate. Take a quick look here. We're also not top 10 on Williams. Blackman is cool on us. So let's see out of these 3 down here. Top 25 at Indy. Hardworking kid. Number 1 on the list. Boom. That's an offer. Let's unlock these categories. This is a great target. Brendan Richardson. All right. So got those 2 figured out. And now at center, Beasley is the only hot. We're number 1. He was top 10 at Indy. So that's an easy offer. And whew, these 2 folks, we got their visit coming up. Otherwise, we might sneak down here and grab Mr. Cardinal. Let's wait 1 more week for this last offer. See what's going on there. To get the actual teams in the game, yeah, you do have to mod it. That is accurate. Yeah, 7 scholarships. We had 9. I had to bring in 2 transfers just to get down to 7. So it can be difficult to keep the freshmen happy if I offer all 7. I'm offering all 7 because, especially on the inside, we're probably going to be starting over next year. So I'm counting on hopefully bringing in 2 one-and-done players on the inside and then 2 4-year players. So that's my strategy. Trying to bring in one-and-done guys at power forward and center, and then 4-year guys at all the other positions. just to see if we can keep everybody happy. Maybe, maybe not. So he's decent at Indy. Also decent. They were both top 10 at the Big Apple. Stetson, we went straight to number 1 on his list. On Robert Cardinal, we are hot with all of these other teams. He was top 10 at Indy. So he's going to be a guy who's going to be flirting with one and done every year. I still want to bring him in, though. You know, we get 2, maybe 3 years out of him. That's great. And if there's no guarantee that we land any of these guys, and then, you know what, we got to start over at center again after next year. Whatever, you know, we got the transfer coming in, the 3-star transfer, so that gives us a little bit of depth. So we can make our last offer there to Robert Cardinal. I can't remember who was. It was something Cardinal. It might have been. Was he a Notre Dame player? I'm having difficulty remembering it off the top of my head, but that's our other visit. So, as far as the 4 in-homes go, certainly this is one of them, because we need him desperately. Then at power forward, Richardson is definitely a visit. He wants to hear about location. Cool beans. If I didn't bring in a point guard, shooting guard, small forward, if I didn't bring in a small forward, I think I'd be fine. Shooting guard and point guard, I think we need one of each. So I will make visits to these 2 folks. Hopefully we get some commits straight out of the gate here. And we can get on with visiting the rest of the guys that we didn't visit this week. Hopefully those guys don't commit after week 1 just because we don't give them love right out of the gate. That's the worst part about having 7 scholarships available. I would prefer never to have more than 3 because I always like to, you know, be able to visit 3 guys that I've offered and have 1 extra, like a backup in waiting kind of thing that I'm building interest in as you go through these crucial in-home visits. So we'll see how this goes. Week 1, let's see what happens. All right, well, we got 4 decisions. Let's see if they're decisions that we like. Bullware's going to Richmond. We couldn't beat out Richmond. Come on, Richmond's got to be paying. Richmond was up down a couple of these recruits. They're going to get busted soon. You watch this. Mike Ivner's coming. Richardson's in. And Beasley's in. So all we lost on was Bullware. Was he the one shooting guard that was decent? Detmer did not commit. No, we got the shooting guard. The point guard was Detmer, so we visit him again. Look, we're 3rd. Come on now. Get us up there to the top. Bullware was the small forward. Okay. But these small forward, we weren't crazy about these small forwards anyway, right? All right, we're still pretty good on both of them. We're the only hot here. He was top 25 at the Big Apple. Yeah, we can do this one. Offer him, because he's got time to develop. All right, we did get the power forward we were wildly interested in. Let's see. My boys at the Ville going to steal Adam Childs? Don't do it. Please don't do it. Let's go talk about school prestige. See if we can leapfrog them. And here at the center, we got Beasley. That'll be a good one. Whew. So we got Beasley and Richardson on the inside. So our inside is very much set. God, we did not make a big jump on Mr. Cardinal. But I don't think we visited him, right? All right, let's give it a go. All right, so it says 1 scholarship, but you can see there it was grayed out. We did not have any more offers left. Wow, look at the road games starting off this year. We're gonna leave this. This should be great. You know, we might lose a few of these. Nice tough schedule there. Love it. See how it goes. Yeah, sometimes there's just no way around it. You're going to get some walk-ons. You never know. Looks like we got a scholarship available, so we didn't get someone, but Robert Cardinal, he's coming. So who did we lose out on? Either Detmer or Childs. I hope it's... I don't know. I think it's going to be Childs. Yeah. So Detmer's coming. Cardinal's coming. Childs is going to Georgia. So we need another option at the power forward. So we got both the centers. We got our point guard, our shooting guard. Still working on the small forward situation. And we need a power forward. So Forte is big on us. Top 25 at Indy. Yep. We'll go for this. All right, Eddie Forte, we will offer, and we're going to visit you and talk about, let's just talk about location. You know, Syracuse probably beats us out on that, but, you know, we can compete. We're in the right region. We'll see how it goes. And then, as I mentioned earlier, now that we only have 2 offers out, we can make some backup visits if we have the budget, which we do. That's why we didn't go crazy on the live scouting before. You know, when in doubt, I just go location. You know, I definitely don't want to be pitching playing time given the roster in its current state. So we'll just go location, see what happens. It's pronounced Louisville. At least to me, it's pronounced Louisville, and anybody in that area will call it Louisville. I don't know what Louisville, I don't know who does that, but it's Louisville. All right, here's 2 more decisions. Let's see. Forte's coming, Anderson's coming. That wraps it up, right? That's 7. We brought in 7. Oh, look at that recruiting class. That's beastly. Oh, my word. So 3 guys in the top 25. Beasley is probably our only definite one and done. Cardinal might be. And Detmer's probably going to flirt with it. And then these other 4 guys, transfers notwithstanding, those guys can stay here and develop and add a little bit of depth to the roster. So feeling real good about that recruit. When you got to give out, when you come into a year with 9 scholarships, and then we got 2 through transfers and still had 7 to go, that can be a little bit terrifying, certainly. But, you know, we pulled it off there. Even on, this is still on brutal recruiting difficulty, but we're still chugging along. Obviously, the coach is maxed out at this point, I believe. Yeah, all 100. So over our, how many seasons have we gone in this? What are we in? We're in 2039. So yeah, we're about 20 seasons in. It makes sense. We're 54. I usually start off at 35. So yeah, we're about 20 seasons in. It makes sense for our coach to be maxed out. Our prestige is extremely high with all the national championships and Final Fours and all that good stuff. And of course, North Carolina's historical prestige anyway. I mean, let's see where we're sitting right now. 98. Yeah. You know, we had national championships in 2034, 2036, and 2038. So coming off 2 championships in 3 years, let's see if we can grab another. I don't know if 2038, 2039, I don't know sometimes how those years work out. We might not have won it last year. But we definitely won in 36 and 38. So getting through this early season, preseason practices or whatever, and then we're going to have to jump over, check it out. No, it's not CBGM. This is single player. But yeah, bringing in 7 recruits. Yeah, Galia, this save has been a little bit too easy. That's, once we got to North Carolina and started winning, it certainly got pretty easy, pretty quick. So I don't know what the answer is to that, whether it's going to a smaller school to run it out. I was just sort of bored with how dominant we've been lately. which is why it was a while since I've streamed this. But I don't know if the answer is going to be going to a smaller school or starting a new career with a new coach. I really don't want to do that this year. I'd like to stay with this save. There might be a way to switch coaches, but I kind of like having all my records and stuff here. So, maybe we go to a smaller school and run that out until the new version of the game comes out. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but it has been a little bit easy lately. Let's check out this depth chart. Yeah, with 7 scholarships, Random Task is saying he likes to spread them out, try to break up the years, but bringing in at least the one guy who's one and done, we already know, like, at that point we only have 6 freshmen, right? And then, one guy transfers out, one of the borderline one and dones leave, and then you're down to 4. So they'll be fine. Let's let AI suggest all. It's going with Calhoun, Morris, Mansell, Leslie, and Dodd, which is exactly what I intended to do anyway. Collins, Jones, Hughes. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. I don't really need to tinker with this too much. We want to lean heavily into these highly rated guys. Some upperclassmen here outside of this super talented freshman. And then these guys are just sort of development players. Collins, Jones, Hughes. So giving them extremely limited minutes, that's good to see. We don't really have... Normally, if I had like that real solid third option on the inside, I'd let them be the backup power forward and center. This year, we don't really have that, so we'll spread that time out a little bit as we wait for Williams and Medley to sit out their year after transferring. So we can jump straight into the games now, see what's up. The lowest prestige school out there and run with it. It's just... I can't stand being at the super small schools because, like, none of the information that you get all this camp data, you can't go after them anyway. Like, what are you going to do there? I don't know. I'll think about the difficulty level and how to bring more challenge into it and, hopefully a little bit more. I like the struggle, right? Like, once you're at the top and it's just about, like, can I go undefeated? How bad can I dominate this entire season? Like, I don't know how interesting that is. I don't know where that struggle is, right? I need to find some mix of that. So it's a work in progress. I'm happy to take your suggestions in Discord, in the comment section. I try to make myself available. So if you got suggestions, reach out. Let me know what you're thinking. North Carolina heading on the road here to start off the year at the Iowa State Cyclones. So we do have a challenging away schedule early in this year. So maybe that's where the difficulty is going to come from. Let's see if we might just get knocked off right out of the gate. We talk about how easy it's been, talk about how much we've dominated. Let's see if we can start off with a win, like just one. Can we go 1-0? Just barely. And it was on the back of James Leslie, the freshman. So all of these talented upperclassmen and their defensive badges and everything else. Top recruit in the country comes out, or he's one of the top 5, top 2. Just comes out and says, like, hop on my back. I got you. And he goes off for 18 and 16, and we get a 2-point win on the road at Iowa State. Yeah, with the small prestige schools, I don't know. It's just frustrating because, like you said, it is difficult to gain prestige, and you don't play anybody to get prestige. So the only way to do it is to get into the tournament and win. And when you're playing nobodies, it basically means you have to win your conference tournament, and anybody can lose a game on a neutral court. So when your entire season comes down to 2 or 3 conference games, yeah, it's just like it's really a pain. And then, like, say you win your conference, you make the tournament. Even if you're a 12 seed that beats a 5, how much prestige do you gain? Like 2? It's a legit grind. All right, so then we got the LOIs come in, all 7 guys, obviously going to make it. We're going to delete all our emails here. So our theory about having interest at the start holds true yet again. Although we did lose one a stream or 2 ago because I picked up somebody late and didn't pay attention to the interest. So the theory holds, but I'd been saying for a while that I hadn't had an ineligible recruit in something like 50 seasons, and then I finally had one. So I suppose I jinxed myself there because I wasn't paying any attention. Yeah, I mean, I don't tend to make the Sweet 16 twice in a row and then go 500. I mean, I usually stay a little bit more consistent than that, but it's just like, to gain any prestige at all, like, you're not gaining any prestige through your regular season because you play nobody, right? You're not playing anybody. You don't have chances to gain prestige. And then in your conference tournament, like, if you win it, okay, how much prestige do you gain for winning, like, the, mid-northwestern divisional conference? Like, nothing. And then you get to the actual tournament. You get 1, maybe 2 games, and you knock off a 5 seed and a 4 seed. What'd you do? Like, you beat the 4th best team in the Big Ten and the 6th best team in the ACC. Like, you're not gaining prestige from that either. You just get nothing. Even though you had a wildly successful season. So it's extremely frustrating at that. I prefer to go into some of these schools. Like I like the rebuilds, like rebuilding the fallen giants, right? Like going to Indiana or UCLA and taking them from wherever they are when the save starts to where this North Carolina team is now. That being said, once you get to where, and of course, one of the guys we said we could not lose was James Leslie, and he's injured straight away. But once you get to the point where North Carolina is now, it does get boring. I like the build up to that. Once you're here, it can, you never know. Please be not bad. Broken hand out 2 months. All right. So straight away, in the first season in a while that I've had absolutely no depth, and we lose one of the 2 players that we absolutely could not afford to lose. So now we got to fall back on one of these absolutely terrible players on the inside. So, maybe that's where the difficulty is going to come from in this one. We lost so much to the NBA last year. I'm just going to let the computer suggest this, run with whoever it throws in there. There's really nothing we can do. All of our backup options are bad. There's no good way to get around it. This is where, going back, I think it was Random Task asking earlier, what am I going to change? This right here, I'm going to go to favor the outside. And I think, let's see here, David Knight, the sophomore, is what they brought in. And then outside of that, we're starting Calhoun, Morris, and Mansell, and Dodd. So we got a very strong upperclassman set. So we're going to bump this all the way up to 80. With that freshman in there, I definitely like to give them some more freedom because they don't know the sets as well. But now we're going to rely heavily on our sets and favor the outside a little bit. So let's see what happens. A little bit exciting, 2 inside players, and one of them breaks their hand for 2 months. So, the good news is, obviously, he'll be back for tournaments and whatnot. The bad news is we've got just nothing on the inside right now. You built up Denver for 30 years? Whew. Yeah, that had to be a lot. So not only do we have the interesting early season schedule, now we're going to try to do it basically just jacking up threes, I suppose. Can't wait till our big men get here next year. We got 4 of them on the way, but it's not going to help us. As we go to Stanford, Stanford's not very good. Took care of them all right. Kyle Dodd held it down. Got some Sam Adams Oktoberfest going here today, It's usually like a Oktoberfest. It's sort of in the name. It's a fall beer. I'm just dreaming of the fall right now. The leaves changing, that sort of thing, as it's sweltering hot outside. And it's been that way for a while. The only reason that I actually got to stream tonight is because my kids' baseball games all got canceled because of extreme heat. It's like 130 degrees on the baseball field where they normally play, like on the field level, because it's like one of those like artificial turf kind of things. So like maybe it's different. I don't know. But yeah, the people that run the league said it was 130 degrees, like field level temperature tonight, and they had to cancel. So I had a little bit of free time to get a stream out. I've been just absolutely, outside of being a little bit bored with the save because we'd been dominating so much, and a little bit of getting fascinated with Football Manager for a while, and still am. Still going strong there in my Football Manager save. But all that, along with just all the kid activities, has been pretty brutal. So we head on the town and take care of Georgetown. Now we get another injury, but Markel Griffin is not a name that I recognize at all. So hopefully that is Markel Griffin, a 1-star walk-on point guard with a sore shoulder for 7 days. Like, I cannot possibly explain to you how little I care about that injury. James Leslie going down with a broken hand for 2 months, different story. That dude's sore shoulder for 7 days, I don't need to know. Don't care. Whew, 107 in KC. Yikes. Yeah, it's a lot. Like, I go outside just to, like, take the trash out or something, and I'm sweating by the time I walk back in the house. It's ridiculous outside right now. So, we're moving on toward the end of August, so I feel like this is those, like, dog days of summer. We're going to get into September. It'll cool down, then we'll all be wishing for summer so we can go back to the pool. And I'm not one to complain when it's hot, because I definitely like to get outside and be at the pool. I cannot stand when it's freezing cold outside, where just like your fingers hurt, it's so cold. But this heat's a little much. So let's see here. On the road at Purdue, again, this is a true road game. We're not in one of these out-of-conference tournaments. So, true road game, no depth on the inside. We barely skated by Iowa State. Can we keep it going against the Boilermakers? Yes, quite easily. Daryl Morris said, enough with the freshmen. Like, hop on my shoulders. Watch what I can do as I go off for 36. What a game from Daryl Morris. 7-9 from 3. Whew. Nice one. Love to see that. All right. Looking good. Looking good. The early season looked a little bit iffy with all those road games, but we've now navigated 3 of the ranked road games, I believe. I think, we've still got Villanova coming up, so it could still be a little bit of a challenge, but then I think we're going to head back home for a while, hopefully. Yeah, low 80s at the day, mid 60s at night. That's what I'm talking about. That would be nice. Chris, I've not ever gone all out with athleticism, 100% full court press, but I have, like, the ideas crossed my mind. I've thought about it at times. I've also thought about doing, like, the all full court press and threes, like the, early 90s Rick Patino, University of Kentucky kind of thing, where it's just all pressing and all threes all the time. I saw somewhere somebody simulated it, and it actually might have been Justin talking about it from a single player save. Somebody somewhere I saw talk about it, and it definitely, like, it worked out. They were the top, like, forcing turnovers. They were the top 3-point attempts, top scoring in the entire league, and I don't think he had, like, a absolutely stacked roster or anything. So on the road here against Villanova, we're still rolling. 22-point victory. Kyle Dodd, Ray Calhoun, and once again, Daryl Morris looked like he had 20, I think. So doing quite well with this early season schedule. Now we get a couple of games in a row, either at home or I don't know if any of these are. I assume that we're probably in one of the early season tournaments, but I don't know. Let's check out the schedule real quick. We don't have to guess. Illinois State. So once we get to Illinois State, which is actually our next game. So this will be the Sunshine Shootout. So we'll be playing on a neutral floor here. And then we'll probably play a couple of more. Hopefully, as long as we win, we'll play another game or two before we actually get to that Creighton game, I suppose. So see how this works out. Got to win to survive in advance, right? So the Illinois State Redbirds at 1-5. Gonna make a run at us. Knocked them out. 40 points. Get out of here. Absolutely no threat. Now we get Alabama. At least that's, a Power 5 conference team. 5-2 on the year, no ranking. They could definitely still be decent. I do, if we were on the road, it could certainly be dangerous. I like our chances on a neutral court, but there's never any guarantees. 20 points almost, 18. Ooh, Daryl Morris, another 25-point game. We got a real threat for some kind of scoring title here with Daryl Morris. He's going off. I think that the favor in the outside may be doing it for Mr. Morris. All right, so now here's a good challenge. 8-1, number 14, Ohio State Buckeyes. Woo-hoo-hoo! Got nasty on him. I didn't even see. I was too busy making sounds to even see. But Daryl Morris again with 24. God, this dude. Look at his points. He's just going off. 16 points is the least he's scored all year. Having a heck of a senior season here, Mr. Morris. Woo! All right, looking good. No defense in that game. You're absolutely right. See, what I like to do is, like in this one, Bill, I don't know if you've seen what I've got set up here. With all the depth that we had and all the talent that we had, we still do have depth on the outside, not as much inside. But anyway, I crank up the offensive pace, crank the defensive intensity all the way up, the full court defense all the way up, because if we run into foul trouble, like, we've got a absolutely stacked roster. Now this year, had I thought of it, I probably would have gone in and changed some of this because of our lack of depth on the inside. But like the team that I'm sure we had last year, coming into this season with 9 scholarships, I just guarantee you we had a bunch of guys go pro. So I guarantee we had crazy depth. So, if the 5-star small forward gets in foul trouble, then we put in the 5-star backup. And when you have that much of a talent advantage, I like to run them fast, run them high intensity, and, see if we can take advantage of all that depth. And they move us to who jumped us to go to number 1? You got to be kidding me. We'd be like 4 ranked teams on the road, then 2 more in neutral court games, and then we slip to number 2? Get out of here. Who's better than we are? Wisconsin. Y'all are 10-1 Wisconsin. What, they lost a game so y'all bumped them up? Get out of here, media. The coaches know what's up. The net ranking knows what's up. The media lost their minds. What a joke. All right, Chris, close your eyes. Little 30-point win there. So, yeah, outside of the very first game of the year at Iowa State, I don't know if anybody's come within like 18, 19 points of us. We've been putting it on some of these teams. Now, we do have Notre Dame coming up on the road. They're 10-1, number 3 in the country. So that certainly looks dangerous. We're still probably 45 days out from the broken hand man coming back. But definitely moving up very much into ACC play. So I'm sure here in about 2 seconds, we'll get to that Notre Dame game, and Agalia will talk some trash in the chat if he's still around. And if he's not, he'll catch it on the video later and badmouth me in Discord, but that's all right. You got to have rivals, right? What good is a rival if they're not going to badmouth you and make fun of you when you lose? So that's why we keep them around. The Wyoming Cowboys coming into Chapel Hill, baby. See if they can keep it within 40. Back to number 1, so media figured it out, I suppose. No, they could not keep it within 40, as we go for a 43-point victory against Wyoming. And once again, of course, it's our man Daryl Morris just absolutely going insane. Bellarmine. We started off this save at Bellarmine. I think we did 2 years there. And obviously the system that we set up there, like somewhere along the way, they lost whatever we had going. They're sitting at 3-7 right now. I do wish I had this team in CBGM, actually. Although the team I've got a pretty decent team in CBGM. I'm actually quite pleased with what we got going on. I can't wait for this freshman point guard to arrive next year because the one that we currently have was one of the like computer generated guys that we had at the beginning of the save, and I mean he's got a decent star ranking. I'm not too interested in him, but he's a senior, so I'm letting him go just because like he's got the knowledge in our systems and whatnot. As the Cardinals drop a game there to South Carolina at home, what are you doing, Louisville? Sometimes you got to pronounce it Louisville if they do something dumb, but the correct pronunciation is still Louisville. It's like one of those things where, like, if your kid's being bad, you break out their middle name. Like, if Louisville sucks, you got to break out the alternate pronunciations. If they do anything really stupid, I'm gonna start calling them Louisville. But yeah, I like my CBGM roster. I think hopefully Colt Carlisle's developing. Hopefully next year he'll be, just continue that development. He's been a scoring threat throughout his career. Need him healthy though. Him breaking his hand and being out is the whole reason that power forward had to start against Agalia, and then he went out and had 13 turnovers. So would have preferred to have Colt Carlisle on the court. That didn't happen. Like I mentioned, Donald Black, the point guard, he's one of the computer-generated guys. I'll be happy to see the back of him. All right, let's see what we can get here. North Carolina, Virginia. Nice. Rolling along. Daryl Morris doing his thing this year, buddy. All right, Chris about to sim CBGM. So anybody that's in here watching the stream, if you're not in CBGM, I don't know what you're doing. Get on Discord, reach out to Chris, join us in the CBGM. We have an absolute blast playing this game multiplayer. It's a totally different beast multiplayer, but it's so like, all of the challenge that doesn't exist in the single player mode is all there in the multiplayer game. And this game truly, as good as it is, it truly, truly shines in the multiplayer. So if you're not already over there, quit wasting time and just get over there and join the league. But for you guys that are in here, it looks like Chris is about to sim another day. So all that just to delay as long as possible before I have to simulate this game with North Carolina headed on the road to play Agalia's Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Probably the biggest test that we've faced so far this year. Let's see if Daryl Morris can get us there, or if we're going to drop to 500 to start off ACC play. He got us by 2. We were so close. We almost had it. God. Yeah, Bubba, I'm ready for the start of next year as well. Knowing that I've got that whole team coming back. Again, as long as there's no transfers, Black will graduate, and I'll be looking pretty good. But here in this save, North Carolina drops their first game of the year on the road to Notre Dame. And, that's just, karma or something, I guess. I don't know. I'm just not a good enough person to avoid that embarrassment. So I have to eat it. Yeah, the funny faces in chat. I could see it coming. Yeah, you don't even have to be in the save for me to lose to Notre Dame. It just happens. Now we got to go on the road to Georgia Tech. So, I've got a little bit better hopes, but that's still a conference game on the road against a pretty good team. So this could be, back-to-back embarrassment for us. Home against Virginia Tech, on the road at 3-9 Clemson. I feel good about both of those, but first we got to fight off the Yellow Jackets in Atlanta, and we might actually drop to 1-2 in the ACC to start off the year. So let's see what we do. Still, we got through all the non-conference undefeated, so that's nice. Of course, I would have rather have lost any game other than the Notre Dame game. So any of the other games that we played, I would have rather lost any one of them. Maybe not Wyoming at home, but most of the rest would have all been better than Notre Dame. On the road at Georgia Tech, we get back on the winning track. Nice little 20-point victory there. Daryl Morris does his thing at 22 points. And we avoid the embarrassment of falling to a sub-500 record in conference. We jump back up to 2-1. And like I said, now we get a couple of games that I'm reasonably confident in. Even home against 9-4 Duke, I feel good about that. So hopefully a couple of easy wins in a row here to get us as far away from 500 in conference as possible and set us up to glide back into that point where Leslie comes back from injury. We're at full strength. Whew! My word. Put a hurting on him. 33 against Virginia Tech at home. Here shortly, we need to check and see how that injury is going, how much longer he's out, so we can try to start targeting a date to bring him back into the fold and switch that strategy back up a little bit, get us a little bit more on the inside, a little bit less structured in the offense. Clear out some emails first. Nothing but scouting reports. All right, Mr. Leslie is out for 16 days, so January 27th, give or take, depending on how it counts the days. Right in that area. We'll be looking for a comeback, so probably 5 or 6 more games. Hopefully we can avoid any more injuries. I'm fine. Obviously so far all we've really lost is at Notre Dame. So they put a hurting at home against Louisville. All right. At Clemson, a little bit closer, 12 points outside of Notre Dame. I'd say that might have been we had the loss at Notre Dame, the 2-point game at Iowa State, and then I think that was probably the third closest game of the year. So even a 4-9, 5-9, whatever they were, those in-conference teams on the road can always drop a scare into you. 12 points isn't that scary, but it's better than anybody else has been doing. So, all right, well, Duke, North Carolina. And look, of course, another game against Notre Dame coming up. At least this time we'll be at home, so hopefully we run that one out. Notre Dame's 14-3, so they have dropped another game at some point since we played. At home, I feel pretty confident. I mean, we went to their place and only lost by 2. I think we can keep it going at home against them. Same as home against Duke. I think this is all right. We'll see what Daryl Morris can do here. His last game at home against Duke as a senior. What you got for us, Daryl Morris? 20-point win, 18 for Daryl. He kind of flirted with that triple-double. He went 18, 6 and 7. So, I mean, it was out there. You could see the triple-double from where he was, but didn't really threaten it down the stretch there. All right, at Syracuse. Now, even at 10, I don't care. Like, the one game I dread every year in the ACC is at Syracuse. Because it never fails. It does not matter how good they are, how bad they are. It just flat out doesn't matter. You get in the Carrier Dome, you play against that 2-3 zone, and it just sucks. So I've lost more games at Syracuse than I could possibly ever count. Let's hope this isn't another one. It is. It just never fails. At Syracuse is brutal. The worst place to go on the road. Absolutely loathe playing there. All right, Notre Dame at home. Let's see if we can get our revenge. No, Daryl does not like Duke. We must avenge our loss against the Fighting Irish. In Chapel Hill. You're not coming into the Dean Dome and winning anything. It's not happening. Put your foot down. That's right. Put your foot down, Daryl Morris. 15-point win. You're not coming on our floor and doing that. Get out of here, Agalia. All right, so we took care of that one. So now we get Louisville at home. Then on the road at Miami. Virginia at home. So the Miami game, Louisville is going to be the last time that we play for sure without Leslie. He may be available for Miami. Certainly he should be available for Virginia. Well, Cincinnati having a rough go of it there. Maybe the Bearcats. It's not even on you. Hey, it is. You know, you get to talk the trash when they beat me, but I get to bring it back when we win, and it's just symbolic or something. I don't know. I don't have any other rivals in this single player game, so I gotta make up enemies, right? Gotta keep it fresh somehow. Syracuse, VCU, and Belmont in the NCAAs. Yeah, that sounds right. Those are all scary teams. So is Wichita State. Always, like, them being the shockers. I cannot tell you how many times they have shocked me. And I think it must be, like, it's happened enough that I suspect it's in the code somewhere at this point. Like, I'm definitely suspicious. All right, hopefully we trounce Louisville at home here. Oh, my word. Yeah, I don't see us losing at home at all. I would love to know. Well, we'll have to go in and look, like, season by season if it will show home records versus away records. I'd love to know the last time we actually lost at home. I bet it's been a while. I'm sure I could go back and watch the streams. Somebody can do. If somebody like has absolutely nothing to do with their life and just wants to go back and watch the streams and figure it out, feel free to leave a comment or message me on Discord, and I'll announce it to everybody. And oh my gosh, what happened in this game? So that's why you don't want to play at Syracuse. A ranked NC State team went in there and could only score 37 points. At Syracuse is the worst. At Miami, not so bad. We win by 10. All right, so I mean we're cruising along here, 19-2, 8-2 in conference. Gonzaga at home lost to Portland. What is going on at Gonzaga? They're 11-10. My word, talk about rebuilding the fallen giants. Might have a project there. All right, we blazed right through that Miami game without even looking to see if Leslie was back. He's certainly back at this point. Let's get him back on the roster and readjust our strategy. All right. Back to a reasonable lineup. Back it off the offensive set use. And get back to more of a balanced system. I still feel like that's going to be better off in the long run. Yeah, anything could have Galia said anything could have happened because we're at 2040, and you're right. But I mean, like, Gonzaga starts off with so much prestige, and there's James Leslie in his return game trying to reach that double-double. Didn't quite get there. Look at... All right. Right as soon as you said anything could have happened, look at the screen right now and tell me what you see. Because here in 2040, what I immediately noticed, look who is the head coach at Louisville, Richard Patino. Like how does that happen? Has anybody seen that happen in a game? Like, I see, like, I've never seen that. Richard Patino, the head coach at Louisville. taking over for, stepping into his father's legacy there. That's wild. I've never seen that. I've simulated hundreds of seasons and various versions of this game. I've never seen Richard Patino take over at Louisville, but there it is. All right. So, there's that. We said we were just going to roll through this season and win a bunch of games and try to break a bunch of records and nothing interesting would happen. And then we get to Richard Patino at Louisville. We can go back and check and see how old he is. I would imagine he's 20 years into it. He's got to be in his mid to late 50s, right? I mean, he's probably... I would imagine he's somewhere around my age, and if my coach is 55 or something, he's probably right there with it. But one easy way to check, we can just jump over to Louisville and check out their staff. There you go, 57. Heck of a recruiter. Learned something from his dad. It's all about those dancer parties, right? Knowing the right guy at Adidas. You figure it out. I wonder how long he's been at Louisville. We can go to school history. All right, so Chris Mack ran Louisville all the way to 2037. Not sure exactly how old he was when he retired, but I think Chris Mack in real life is somewhere in his mid to late 40s, so 20 years into the future, he's probably somewhere around 60. And then they gave it to Steve Wojciechowski for a year, and he absolutely sucked. So, of course, Xavier was like, yeah, we'd love to hire you. So he's at Xavier now, and Richard Patino took over. So there you go. All right, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of an interruption there to our normally fairly mundane conference schedule, where we just play against 2 or 3 tough teams on the road and then blaze right into the tournament. A little mixing it up there with Richard Patino at Louisville. That's awesome. If he was any good at Minnesota or wherever he is, it would have been cool to have him at Louisville, but with Rick going out the way he did, I don't really think that was an option. And I'm extremely happy to have Chris Mack at Louisville. What they've, in real life, what they've done, I don't think it's anything spectacular, but then again, with all of the NCAA sanctions and stuff that's hanging over them right now, I'm shocked anytime he can bring in any player. So I give him a complete and total pass on anything that's going on. I think he's a wonderful coach, and hope he stays there just like he did in game here for 20-something years. On the road at Pitt, 10-point win, James Leslie getting it going. There's the double-double, another one out of Kyle Dodd. And you can see Dodd start to pick up the pace here with the scoring now that we've gone back to more of a balanced approach instead of favoring the outside. Those 36-point games from Daryl Morris, while they could still happen, he's relinquished some of the ball back to the post guys, and Dodd and Leslie are both getting it going. All right, NC State wants to come in, try to come into our court, trying to come into North Carolina and do something. Not letting that happen. Absolutely not. I don't know if we can hold them to 37 or whatever it was that Syracuse abused them for, but we might be able to get a bigger margin of victory. About the same. And right on cue, there's Daryl Morse with 31. But James Leslie also with the double-double right behind him. So, I don't know. That's kind of cutting both ways right now. All right, we're 11-2 in conference. So what? 7 conference games left, then the conference tournament, then the NCAA's, baby. And you're safe, Chris Mack left in 2028 to coach Kansas for 2 years. I don't know. That's an interesting move. I guess I could see it if it's not somebody that came up in this area. I mean, Kansas, on a national scale, Kansas is certainly a step up. All right, so Wake coming into North Carolina. Hopefully this is a bloodbath. Yep, 18 points. Morris, Dodd, and Quentin Mansell. You know, we haven't talked a lot about Quentin this year, but he's a heck of a player. He's been a heck of a player for 2 years. I'm sure if I go in and look at like his player impact estimates or look at his stats, I guarantee he's just showing up and doing it. Like, he hadn't had the flashy 30-point games the way that Morris has, and you know, we're not desperate for him like we are with basically anybody over 6'6". So let's see. So Calhoun, Dodd, and Morris all still hanging out on the Norton. Dodd and Morris still on. So Calhoun got bumped off, but Dodd and Morris still on it. Let's see what that list looks like. Daryl Morris is actually second in the running for this award right now. Kyle Dodd will probably drop off after this, but Daryl Morris leading the way. How was it last time it was announced? Same thing. So Eric Hammond from Washington, who's dropping 25 a game. All right, ranked number 7, freshman. So this is just one and done superstar. I see you, Eric Hammond. You know, Morris is doing what he can, but you know, Eric Hammond's just one of these gifted freshmen that's doing his 1 year of duty in the NCAA before he heads off to star in the NBA. But I always love the senior, crashing the party there on the Norton Award, trying to push the young gun. Mid-February, sitting at 23-2. 2 losses, both on the road. One to Notre Dame. One, who was our other loss to? Syracuse. So now we head down to Florida State. They've been pretty average this year. Right in that range, like they're winning more games than they're losing, so it's right in that range where it could be dangerous, or we could win by 15. These games can go both ways, and that one was a 18-point win for us. So nice work, boys. Calhoun there. Calhoun only had 2 points, but he had like 8 or 9 assists. Looked good. Hey, thanks for the follow there, Sparkon. Appreciate it. So everybody playing their part. Calhoun dishing the ball. Morris does his his little 20, 30-point scoring thing that he likes to do. And now we get Syracuse in the Dean Dome. Bring it on back, boys. You put us down in the Carrier Dome. Let's see what happens in North Carolina, in Chapel Hill. I've seen the sneak preview of this, and it's not good for you, Syracuse. You got a beating coming to you. That's right. That's what you deserve. 30-point drubbing. God, I don't know why they're so dangerous at home. But every team is more dangerous at home. Syracuse is worse than most. Or maybe they're just like my Eleanor or whatever. But feels good to get them back one, right? All right, cruising along now, February 20th. 4 conference games left to go. I would imagine we've got to be right up at the top of the conference standings. We call it the conference table if we were playing Football Manager, but trying to keep one foot in both worlds right now. So, trying to get to the top of the table in the ACC, maybe get promoted next year. All right, the Tar Heels and the Hokies. The Hokies look like they are god-awful garbage this year. And we proved that point by going to their court and winning by 30. So, yes, they are truly awful garbage. Random test, trying to drop some puns into the chat. Always love to see it. Orange juice, man. Orange man juice. Yeah. All right, at Boston College, they also look terrible. Well, Cincinnati's been like the last game up on my screen a handful of times now. They look to be having a huge up and down year. And just like, I've been wanting to play with UC anyway, so maybe that's some kind of sign. Maybe I should go to Cincinnati and finish, especially since I live in Cincinnati. I think they got a cool color scheme. Got a long history between Louisville and UC in the Metro and in Conference USA, and I think they were in the Big East together before the Big East separated, right? I don't know. Anyway, there's a long history there, so I don't know. Maybe I go to UC to finish the save off. Try to, obviously I wouldn't dominate there right out of the gate. I do think they're a good enough squad that I eventually would probably end up right back in this same position, but there would definitely be a number of years for us to get there, so that's something that's rattling around in my head. Y'all let me know if you think that might be interesting. Do a little UC action. Try to get them back to the promised land that they should have had before Kenyon Martin broke his leg. Back in the Nick Van Exel days. We want to take them all the way back further, though. We want to go back to the Big O, back when they were winning national championships. See if we can get them back there. So that's an idea. Random Test says he likes UC's color scheme and seal and all that good stuff. Yeah, I like it too. Plus, anything that's closer to Louisville's colors, like North Carolina, like there's something different about Tar Heel blue, which is just its own thing. But traditionally, I prefer Louisville's color scheme or something close to Louisville's color scheme. And UC's is very close with the red and black. I don't think they have as much yellow. It's more like red, black, and white. Still a cool color scheme, though. So, definitely an idea. Nah, I don't care for the mascot either, if we're being honest. The Bearcat kind of looks goofy. I assume or Bearcat's a real thing, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, just a thought. Throwing it out there. Bubba likes the idea as well. I like the idea. We'll think about it. I don't know when the right time to make a move is. Really would like to... Oh, wait. Are we... Oh, yeah, this is the last game of the year. Pitt at the Dean Smith Center. I don't know when the right time to make a move is. I would have liked to have broken some big-time records, like, win 10, 15 national championships or something, but this is... we're just crushing fools. Crushing them. So, I don't know. Maybe we need to move soon. Give us a new project to build up, something new to get excited about, so that we come back and we don't take a month and a half before we stream the next episode of this. We'll see. Yeah, there could be another Bearcats. I don't know. I just don't know. Like, I assume that's a real creature. Like, or did somebody just make it up, like the UC unicorns or something? Surely, I guess some people might be named after mythical creatures and whatnot. But a Bearcat seems kind of like, if it's mythical, surely that's got to be something real, right? Like, who would just be like, oh, well, there's no real animal called this, but what if there was a Bearcat? No way. Is Houston Baptist actually the Bearcats also? Then yeah, there's no way two schools came up with the same bad idea. Same ugly mascot. But, like I said, they got a good color scheme. Appreciate the history. Not just the Kenyon Martins and the Nick Van Exels. You got to get the Danny Fortsons, the, what was it, Kenny Logan? Steve Logan. Sorry, Steve Logan. Man, UC's had a number of guys come through that just really good players. The three-point shooter, Jamar Johnson. UC's had some good ones. They don't get enough credit, to be honest. They're stuck in this weird place. They got hosed in the conference realignment because their football stadium sucked. So they rebuilt it, or they did this big renovation on it. But they did that after all of the conference realignment. And I'm just now noticing here, we're on March 10th. We've already had early NBA declarations, so we need to check that out. And James Leslie, one and done. We fully expected that to happen. No unexpected losses, so we're fine there. And Daryl Morris, now that we've gone to the more balanced approach as opposed to favoring the outside, he slid behind Phil Walls at Marquette, another freshman, going 16 and 12 a game. So probably not going to win it, but valiant effort by the old man. So now we're into the ACC tournament. There's Bearcats at the Cincy Zoo. I've gone to the Cincinnati Zoo so many times. I don't know where the Bearcats are, but I'll go check them out next time. Random Task throwing out the St. Louis Billikens. Some old school. God, was that? I think that was Conference USA, not Metro. I don't know that they were in the Metro, but they were in Conference USA with Louisville. Make some throwbacks with like Larry Hughes. Go check out some Larry Hughes highlights back in the day. He might have actually only been a 2 or 3 year player at St. Louis. I'm not sure. I know he was like the best player on LeBron's first final teams, other than LeBron, of course. All right, first round of the ACC tournament goes as expected with Daryl Morris going 42, 8 assists, and 10 steals. So that time, it wasn't flirting with a triple-double. That was like heavy petting with a triple-double. Came very, very close. But now we get the ultimate rubber band match with Notre Dame in the finals. So eat your heart out, Agalia. I hit the box before I hit simulate. But I saw it anyway. We beat them by 20 on a neutral court. They can't hold us down unless they get that nonsense luck of the Irish whatever at home. Another ACC championship for the North Carolina Tar Heels. That's a number of years in a row now. Yeah, Breeze, you might be right. That might be a Lisa Leslie relation there in James Leslie. This is about the right time frame for it, I would say. He'd be about the right age here. All right, so let's check out this selection. We graciously accept our number 1 seed, and we would like to proceed to the beating of the 16 seed now. Someone's injured. Okay, well, that's ominous. I missed that. Here's the play-in games. Kentucky in a play-in with Richard Patino coaching a top 10 Louisville team. Oh, man, that feels good. All right. North Carolina, your number 1 overall seed. Georgia, a 2. Purdue and UCLA round out the top seeds in Boston. In Lexington, Notre Dame grabs a 1 seed. You couldn't have given Louisville the 1 seed. Give them the 2 in Lexington. While Kentucky's playing in a play-in. Oh, come on. I wanted them to give Louisville a good seed in Lexington. All right. Well, they got Xavier. That's kind of close. Oh, there we go. Our Missouri Tigers carrying on the Coach Cards tradition. Number 1 seed in Orlando. Washington, there's Louisville with the 3 down in Orlando, and Marquette rounds it out with the 4. There's Kentucky. At least they threw Kentucky in the same region. Like Louisville's the 3, Kentucky's over here to play in 12. You losers. All right, and in Boise, Wisconsin grabs a 1. Ole Miss with a 2. What is Ole Miss basketball doing? There's Syracuse with a 4. Niagara with a 5. So Kentucky's a 12 seed. Kentucky's a play-in to be a 12 seed, and Niagara's a 5 seed. So there you go. Interesting stuff. Bearcats are indoor in the cat house, or you can see the baby, Lucy, in the newborn section. The cat house. I'm trying to think if we've gone in there. Is that over by the lions? I know where the lions are. I know there's an inside area there. Not sure. We'll have to look into that. Agalia says he thinks he saw an injury notification. Yeah, you saw the one for Kevin Madison, I'm assuming. Backup center with a mild concussion. So, you're not crazy. There must have been a red flash. I missed it, but it's not going to be significant for us, thankfully. Yes, they made Notre Dame good just to voodoo curse me. That's absolutely correct. Random task is subscribing to the More Cincinnati Zoo facts. I will set up a separate stream after this and bring down one of my assistant coaches. He's very knowledgeable about the Cincinnati Zoo. We can make that happen. I think it's too old for Ole Miss to make the playoffs. All right, we're working on the puns in the chat section tonight. We're trying. Also a work in progress. We're getting there. We'll have a good one before we're done. All right, it's go time. Oh, and they're gonna... I didn't realize they're making me play my very own Cornell Big Red in, obviously, the CBGM. I'm running Cornell as my third league Ivy League team. I've not got them to the NCAAs, but, I haven't had 20 years to work on it, so give me time. We'll get there. But right out of the gate, we put a 42-point beating on somebody, led by James Leslie with his 19 and 13 double-double. So let's see who the next victim is. Kansas State. Kansas State wants to come try something. Let's see what we got for them. Let's see. Oh, Notre Dame takes care of Duke in the second round. So what do we have for Kansas State? That's right, we don't like Wildcats. So 32 points for Kansas State. Daryl Morris, James Leslie, Ray Calhoun, none of them could decide who were going to eviscerate Kansas State, so they just agreed to all do it. And we take care of that. So cruising into the Sweet 16 there as Syracuse survives against Niagara. So despite their 5 seed, Niagara's season is done. They fall short of the Sweet 16. We will play on through to the Final Four, and then we'll take a look at the entire tournament as a whole. Random test trying for small red there. No, that's not the one we're looking for. I feel like somebody in chat's got one. We just haven't found it yet. But we'll get there. There's still at least 15 minutes left in the video. You got time. Think about it. The Stanford Cardinal versus the North Carolina Tar Heels in the Sweet 16. Let's see if we're going to the Elite Eight, baby. Every game, this is where it gets to the point, anything can happen on a neutral court. One bad night, you make 13 silly turnovers, and all of a sudden you're going home early. Nothing silly, guys. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, North Carolina. Goodness gracious, that might have been the most definitive win of the entire season. 115-60. What was that, a 50-point win? No, 76. Sorry, 40 points. 39. A absolute beating. Who did it to him? As if there was any doubt. Daryl Morris going nuts on fools in the NCAA tournament. Louisville and Washington square off. It went too fast. Couldn't tell who won there. Looks like Washington took care of business. And, Syracuse got knocked out by who? Holy Cross! What is this? This is a Cinderella story. Oh, we got to go check this out. I don't think they were a high seed at all. Let's see if we can get past the Volunteers so that we can go and enjoy that. You're working on it. random task is, it's tough being a dad because like you just have dad jokes, right? Like it's what we have. It's what's funny. All right, there was a little ACC matchup. Didn't see who won that. Oh, Virginia sneaks up on Notre Dame. That's what we don't want to have happen here, folks. All right, North Carolina and Tennessee for the rights to go to the Final Four. James Leslie going off. He had the little bit of a shortened college experience due to that broken hand. But since he's come back, he's really been a double-double beast, and it looks like I just caught it there. The Cinderella story fell in the Elite Eight. So let's bounce out. Now that we've booked our trip into the Final Four, let's take a look at the tournament as a whole. Random task going for really bad. Yeah, like I said, the dad jokes, it's a thing. We just try to be as cringy as possible. It's in our nature as a dad. I don't know. I mean, I don't know your family situation, but it's dad jokes. We all understand where that phrase is coming from. Anyway, in Boston, let's see. Woo! UCLA got upset by Kennesaw State in the very first round. Then Stanford came out until they ran into our buzzsaw. Tennessee, meanwhile, who did it to Georgia by 15 there in the second round, then slipped past Purdue. But in the end, as interesting as a 7 seed making the Elite Eight is, North Carolina wins the Boston region. In Lexington, Notre Dame doing their thing all the way out here and got smoked by Virginia. So there is a 7 seed moving on to the Final Four. We also had Alabama making a run there as a 12 seed. They upset Xavier. They upset Oklahoma. Couldn't quite get past Notre Dame. But Virginia, it's the Cavaliers, but they're the ones that called the Who's, right? They call themselves the Who's. The Who's into the Final Four. Pretty sure I have that right. Not sure. Pretty sure. Maybe. Orlando. My number 1 seeded Missouri Tigers get upset in the second round by the Georgetown Hoyas. We made so much fun of Kentucky at the play-in. They won the play-in. They slipped past the first round, 76-74. Then they get a Louisiana Tech team that upset Marquette. They get past them. They upset Georgetown, who was already a lower-seeded team. And then they finally get put down by Washington, who just happened to be the team. So Kentucky did their part to get the Louisville-Kentucky matchup in the Elite Eight. And Louisville are the ones that screwed it up by losing to Washington. And they didn't lose to Washington. They got drubbed by Washington by 23. And then we move on to Boise, which has to be the Cinderella round. And, so I don't remember who earlier in chat was talking about Wisconsin and wanting to see them do well. But here they went full Agalia and lost to the 16 seed in the first round. North Dakota pulls the massive upset against Wisconsin, which then allows Holy Cross, who won an 8-9 matchup. They get past the 16 seed, which shouldn't be hard. It should be easy to beat 16 seeds. But it's not for everyone. Like Wisconsin. You have Holy Cross getting out there. They got past Syracuse and then lose to VCU. And the other side of the bracket's fairly chalk. Mississippi, VCU wins. And VCU on, North Carolina, Virginia, Washington, VCU. We got a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 7 seed in the Final Four. There it is. See what we get. Stretch it out. Stretch it out. Oh, man. Good times, people. Good times. There's some things you just can't live down. And when you're a 1 seed that loses to a 16 like Wisconsin just did, you're going to hear about it for a while. So anybody else that's around and listening that has lost to a 16 seed before, it's hard to live that down. Doesn't matter. You can win a lot of other games, but you also did that. All right, so I think Washington won that 92-80. Not certain. Now I'm certain. So it looks like Washington's moved on to the national championship game. Let's see if we can join them, baby. Let's get it, Tar Heels. Virginia and North Carolina in the Final Four. It all comes down to this. 15-point win. James Leslie, Quentin Mansell, and Daryl Morris. So we're in the finals against the Washington Huskies. The national championship game. I think this would be our fourth with North Carolina. Or it could be one of many embarrassing and very, very disappointing losses. But it's the national championship. It's the Washington Huskies. It's the North Carolina Tar Heels. It's Daryl Morris's last game as a Tar Heel. It's Ray Calhoun's last game as a Tar Heel. It's James Leslie's last game as a Tar Heel. Let's go out on top, baby. Let's go out on top. Get it done. Make it happen right now. Right now. 92-66. It was never even close. It was never even an issue. We were up by 13 at halftime and then slowly pulled away in the second half. Won both halves by 13. Daryl Morris dropped 18 on him. Dodd went for a double-double. James Leslie 12 and 5. Whew. As we bring home another banner. That's right. As we relive Agalia's 16 seed embarrassment in chat, North Carolina's busy hanging another banner. So we go 92-66 over Washington there. Whew, another season in the bag, baby. Another championship in the Raptors. And, another ACC championship over here. NCAA championship over there. Didn't lose to a 16 seed over there. Our rafters look beautiful. I can't lie. Our rafters look absolutely gorgeous. Let's see. In the entire... Oh, my word. The old man, Daryl Morris, not only makes the comeback and wins the Norton Award, also the NCAA's most outstanding player, also the Wolverine Studios Player of the Year. Your boy, Coach Cards, Coach of the Year. Couldn't pull off Freshman of the Year. That goes to Eric Hammond. Daryl Morris, sadly, ineligible for that one. And then Defensive Player of the Year went to Calvin Height out of Texas. All-Americans. Yeah, that's right. Daryl Morris is right there. There's your second teamers. My boy out of Louisville, Alvin Elder. All right. Check out this ACC action. What do we have here? Oh, that's right. More Daryl Morris. Alvin Elder, Freshman of the Year out of Louisville. I love this. I love this. We're the National Coach of the Year. You can't win. I don't think you can win National and Conference Coach of the Year for some reason. I don't think I've seen it happen. I know that I've routinely won National Coach of the Year and not won Conference Coach of the Year. I won't absolutely say you can't win them both, but it seems pretty rare. First team all-conference, Kyle Dodd joins Daryl Morris there, representing the Tar Heels. And on the second team, we got nothing. Notre Dame, shows up in second. Fairly natural for them, I think. No, we can't retroactively make Daryl Morris a freshman the way that the Sixers made Ben Simmons a rookie for 2 years. Doesn't work that way in college for some reason. Just check it. Look at the player impact estimate there for Morris. Over 20. I mean, it's not unusual to see players with player impact estimates that high. it feels to me unusual to have one that high on a team this stacked. Dodd and Leslie only at less than 11. Dodd at 13, or Calhoun just shy of 14 is the closest to matching Morris. But he's doing that on a team. Look, Calhoun's 4.5 stars. Mansell's 4.5. Dodd is 5. Leslie's 4.5. And Morris still drops over 20 on the player impact estimate. Just an insane year for that dude. 23.4 points a game, 2.7 assists, 4.7 rebounds. Well, let's go take a look at this man's career, because that's 4 years here. So 4 years at North Carolina. Talk about a jersey that's hanging in the rafters. He's won at least 2, if not 3 national championships. And, oh, by the way, from Harrisburg, Kentucky, representing. All right, so we go back and look. He averaged 15.5 for his career, which is insane. So there we go. There's not a lot of 2,000-point scores in college basketball. But Daryl Morris is joining a very small club. I rarely have this in my saves. I do have a lot of one-and-dones and that sort of thing that sort of leads to that. It's hard to find a scorer of this quality that also sticks around for 4 years. But there's Daryl Morris doing it. 2,114 points over his career at North Carolina. Pretty cool to see that. You can also see here, we've had this conversation in Discord over the past couple of days about what stats actually count. And credit where credit's due. I think it was Agalia that said it's regular season plus conference tournament games. NCAA tournament games do not count. Looking at the number of games played here, I would lean towards that's probably accurate, because I know we played more than 34 games this year. We had 30 regular season games, 3 or 4 conference tournament games, and then 6. So we played 40 games over the year. Close enough to it. Definitely more than 34. Just checking out the rest of this. 46% from the field. Woo, not a great free throw shooter. What are you doing at the line, my man? You know how many points you left at the line there, Daryl? You could have been a 2,500-point scorer if you knew how to hit a free throw. 37% from 3, 320 assists, about 450 rebounds. That's a legend, boys. You don't see many like him. All right. Cincinnati job is not available. Kentucky would like to hire me. Not another job in the entire game that I would want less. Michigan State. Chris hates them. I think eventually in this save we need to move schools. But I don't think it's now. Feeling pretty good about what we just did. The class we brought in. Let's go ahead and advance right on past this. As always, I want to try to get you back to June 26th of the next season so that we can take a look at what we've got on the roster for next year. Staff-wise, we need a first assistant. Okay, we need a recruiter. Let's go get one. Austin Hansen retired. All right, so what can we get here? He is a first assistant making $88 a year. This guy is almost as good, and he's unemployed. Are any of them? I was just trying to see if any of them were significantly younger. Some of them are, but if you want to be the best, you got to hire the best. Let's offer this guy like 120. First assistant. 120 for 4 years. Make that offer. See if we can bring him in for that. Yeah, Bubba says wait for the Cincinnati job to become available and see what other jobs are available at that point. That might be what we do. So we grabbed Charlie Breeze, stole him away from West Virginia. I think it was West Virginia. But anyway, our staff is rounded out. We can move on. Yeah, I think the next phase of the save discussion can be either in Discord or on the YouTube, or if there's comments on Twitch or something. We can figure that out after we're offline. We can have that discussion. Anybody that's interested, just shoot me a message. Petition the board. I don't know. What do we want? Do we want facilities, or do we already have them? We're at A at facilities. I don't want to be greedy. Just give me more money. Right? That's not greedy, is it? That might have been bad. I might not have spent enough money to have a decent shot at this. I'm sure it's getting denied either way. Oh, it was approved. They increased it $15,000. Nice. Thank you, board. Or thank you, board of directors. Yeah, okay. I was worried I was getting back into Football Manager there. I know that's all interactions with the board, so. Take Kentucky and intentionally make them a bad... there's some merit to that idea. Like, okay, I've proven I can play the game and, like, win. Can I play the game and make a team as bad as possible? That would be an idea, except for this save is in challenge mode and I would get fired. But it is an idea. Maybe we go sandbox mode with that. Maybe that can be like our B stream, right? We can try it out. Yeah, sometimes I've seen that budget increase, and like I'll be at one of those middling schools, like you're talking about Auburn, $200,000 or something. And so you go in and ask for the budget increase, and like, yeah, we'll increase the budget. And like, yes, they increased the budget. And you go in and look, it's like, you now have $200,000 and $500. Like, they increase it like $500, and you just want to throw something, like your entire computer, into a body of water. Yeah, Bildozer's absolutely right that we can just buy almost everything at this point. All right, we're into summer. Scheduling 2 scholarships for next year. Okay. So much better than the 9 that we had to deal with last year. There was never any doubt that we were going to have the number 1 overall class. Okay, so $267,000. We definitely want the premium national report. I mean, I don't think I want every other premium report, but what does the AI suggest out of curiosity? Premium Atlantic East, premium national. Yeah, I'll also, let's see, that's 110. If I go for 210, I would still have 57,000 minus 15 or so for the camps. Leaves me with like 42 to recruit with. Let's grab a premium international report. Let's just see what it's all about. We'll save ourselves a little bit here. We'll go basic Atlantic East. In fact, we'll take a basic report from every region. So that's 25, 205. Yeah. 205,000. Still gives us 62. Yeah, this works. So basic from every region plus premium, international, and national. Cool. Yeah, picking up premiums for each area and skipping national might have been a good idea had I looked down and seen your comment before I just did it and went ahead. I don't know. Oh, wait. I normally don't show that screen that long. I usually want to get on transfers. But nobody transferred out, so we're good. With no transfers out, only 2 scholarships, we're definitely skipping these sessions. We're going to delete these emails and then go back and take a real good look at our new players before we call it a stream. As each session ticks by and you can hear, I don't know if you guys, I assume you can hear the mails in the background. But as soon as those come in, we're just going to delete all mail and then bounce over and take a look at our roster and our 7 new Tar Heels to see if we can go back to back whenever we stream again. Come on. You can do it. There we go. All right. So, delete all emails. I'm going to save it now just so I don't accidentally forget and do something really stupid. I'll try to save it again. I will save it again after I go offline, but just in case there's a tragedy here. All right. Pick out our summer travel. We're going to Indy. And every camp, let the AI suggest it, and then add those 2. That'll work. So we'll go everywhere, see everyone. That's no more than $25,000 to do that. We'll still have at least $35,000 to recruit with, and that's basically what we had this past year, more than enough for us to get by. Now the game's auto-saving, of course. And here we are on June 26th. So, time to take a look at the roster. Booker Jones came back, developed a little bit. Alex Collins, a sophomore, developed a little bit. But let's take a look at these new arrivals. We got the Eaton or Eton? Might be Eton. Eton Detmer. That's what we're going with. No badges. Good all around, good scoring, good rebounder for a point guard for sure. A little bit lacking on defense for my taste. Not a great shooter. Booker Jones, we can just check. No badges. Alex Collins, no badges. Not feeling good about that so far. That's one of the things that people don't put enough into. Last year, all those players had defensive badges. They had bucket getters. This year, we're almost through our guards, and we don't have that. This guy's a walk-on, so whatever. Mike Ivner, one of our new recruits, much better outside shooter, pretty good scorer, no badges. Calvin Anderson, who was a transfer, nothing doing there. So I'm very, very disappointed in our guards so far. Quentin Mansell does have the bucket getter, so him being the senior this year, he might be carrying us. Here's the transfer, Chris Medley. He's got the defensive badge. Also looking like a very solid player. So, I mean, if things aren't going our way, I might even consider sliding one of those guys down because these are the best 2 players we've looked at so far. Eddie Forte out of Dansville, New York. There's a Danville in Kentucky, so it threw me for a second. But anyway, no badges going on there. Yeah. David Knight's one of the walk-ons. Brendan Richardson, one of the ones I was very excited about. We believe he's going to be a 4-year player, and you can see here very well-rounded stats. Hopefully he develops some of those badges. Doug Beasley, bucket getter, paint dominator, cleanup man, 8 scoring, 10 inside shooting, defense a bit lacking, but the rebounds are insane. The shot blocking's insane. This is the dude that's going to carry this team. We've got the 2 small forwards. We've got Doug Beasley. He's going to have to be the difference maker on this team next year. Oh, and then we still have Greg Williams, who's had a year to develop. He looks very average. But, he'll be around for a while. And then Robert Cardinal is the other freshman. Now, he's also got the cleanup badge. And you can see he's just a heck of a rebounder. He's a very good scorer. He's good inside, and he can stretch it a little bit. So if you needed him to play the power forward, I think you could get him to do that. He's very good defensively. I took a flyer on Robert Cardinal, and I like the early returns. So that's it, guys. We won another national championship. We won another ACC championship. We brought in 7 recruits plus the 2 transfers. So this is our new team. Star-wise, we look very balanced. Badge-wise, we're probably lacking at the guard positions. We had some depth there. We brought in more depth. We didn't really bring in any stars out there. We brought in a star at center. We already had a star at small forward. And we lost a couple of stars at the power forward position. But we brought in a lot of guys that are going to be here for a number of years and create some depth. So, what we can do, the nice thing is, like, you can do this, you can flip back and forth. Like, you have your years where you bring in depth, bring in guys that are going to be around for a while, and then you sprinkle in those one-and-dones around them and see what that turns into, right? So 4 or 5 of these guys are going to be around for 3 or 4 years. And then we just see, we add a Doug Beasley, we add a Daryl Morris, we add whoever in around it and see if we can't get a championship out of it. So that's what we're going to do here. We can pop over to the inbox just real quick, take a look at this draft. There's James Leslie, our power forward, going 2nd overall. And I really wanted to see where Daryl went. Daryl Morris right there, 17th overall. Just outside of the lottery, but Daryl Morris goes 17th overall. Did Calhoun get drafted? He did, 51st. And those are the only 3 players we had drafted. So there it is. There's the season, there's the recruiting, preview of next stream. Guys, thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all. Had a blast. Glad to be back into the college basketball, bringing you another stream with the Tar Heels. But a random task at the last moment. Beasley, more like Beastly. That's right. That's the pun we were waiting for. We're calling it right there. That's it. We're done. Thanks.